Well, welcome to our team call. It is September 17th, and I am so excited to share with you a gift, a treasure in Tanya Kirkpatrick tonight. Before we introduce her, I just want to remind you guys to be in your back office looking up the Essence Tour meetings. Be sure that if there is one within driving distance, and guys, I've driven 9 hours for meetings like this, so if you've got one that you can get to in a couple hours, go, and get your team there as well. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. And the other thing I want you guys to realize, it's not too late to get to ICU in Chicago. There is a huge lineup of unbelievable trainers and speakers there. And they do not have, I think there's like 640 people or so going. It's an intimate training setting for you guys to really get poured into. So if you're feeling at all stuck in your business, if you're feeling like you're just ready to really grow and you want to get your business to the next level, get to ICU. Get a ticket and get there. It is so worth it. You can cram people in a room. Guys, when I first started going to conferences years ago, we would cram 6 people in a room with 1 bathroom. I'd never do it now, but back then we did whatever it took so that we could get people there so they could afford it and so they could get poured into and learn and grow and come home excited and fired up. So I wanted to make sure we had those 2 announcements in before I introduce Tanya. Tanya, I met very early on. We started out kind of around the same time, and I just adore her and her sister and their team, and they have attracted so many great leaders. You guys have heard from Lindsay also. She's another good friend of mine, and they have attracted unbelievable leaders to their team. Tanya's title, for those of you that understand the stars and how that all works, is 14-star platinum and 13-star crystal executive. And that number to me is always a super impressive one, because that means she's enrolled 13 people herself that have gotten to crystal executive. And I'm sure she has a ton more executives on her team as well. But she's a busy mom of 4 beautiful children. I've gotten to meet them, and they're darling, and they're building their dream home. And if you follow her on social media, you'll see that she's sharing that on Instagram. And it's just so cool to see what this business has done for her beautiful family. She credits her success to her love for God, serving people well, and helping others step into their best selves, taking ownerships of their gifts. And that's something I talk about all the time, using the gifts that you've been given. She and her husband were announced as the 163rd Isogenics Millionaires. They earned President's Quest, 2 ISA Derbies. She has been Women of the Year, Shooting Star, top growth in the company. She has been on the Field Advisory Board in 2017, Couple of the Year in 2018, and Most Consistent Business in 2018 for over 5 years. And consistency is something that makes a huge difference in your business. So without further ado, Tanya, thank you so much for giving of your time and being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. You are someone who I so admire, Cindy, and just look up to. So thank you for taking time to have me on the call tonight. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, well, thank you. And let's start. I always like to have everyone start with how Isogenics found you. Some people don't know the hysterical story with your little gift. So I would love for you to share how it was introduced to you and how it's changed your life.
That story is my sister's story. It's actually how I introduced Isogenics to her.
That's right.
It's funny because they all start to blend together. So I'll touch on it. I'll share mine really quick, and then to tell you guys, never give up on your loved ones, because it really makes a difference, and tenacity and persistence always went out. And so we were blessed. We had a neighborhood, and I was always coordinating Easter egg hunts. We were coordinating, I would do Mexico trips down to Rocky Point. We did a lot of life together. So we did a lot of loss together, unfortunately, as well as life together, which was really exciting. And the beautiful Tracy O'Malley used to live right around the corner from me. And our kids grew up together. She actually had my kids when my son was born. And so life had gotten a little in the way, and she's very open with her story. We had really just disconnected. She moved out of the neighborhood, and I knew that she had really been struggling, and it was a place where she had to kind of figure life out. And thank God for Isogenics, because I remember having her send me a friend request on Facebook. And I looked at the picture and I was like, Jeremy, come look at her picture. She looks like a totally different person. She was happy and her skin was glowing and her hair was beautiful. And she kept calling in my news feed, the top of the mountain, her office, while I was sitting like over eyelash clients, because I taught myself how to do eyelash extensions out of my dining room. And I reached out to her and said, you look amazing. What are you doing? I was on this quest. I was asking everybody, what are they doing? I had my pelvic floor completely rebuilt after having 4 babies. I'm really open about that. I wish more women were, because I had never heard of it. And I was stuck financially. I was stuck physically. And we went to lunch. And I told her, thanks so much. That's so great for you. I'm so great. You've had this amazing transformation. But I got to be honest with you, I don't eat things out of a package. And I came home and I made my son macaroni and cheese, and then I ate half of the package with him. And that box stared at the counter on me, like taunting me because it was out of a package. And I came home, I told my husband, I'm like, she talked to me about something called, at that time was called the President's Pack. And he was like, absolutely not. He's like, we're struggling. And I shared this on the tour this weekend, this whole past week in Texas. I was wearing Holy underwear, and we were going and buying our kids like a bat because they needed a bat for their softball or their baseball. For those of you who are parents, we give our kids and we work hard to make sure they have the best of the best while we're wearing Holy underwear. So I saved because I am very, I would say, driven. I really wanted what she had. And even though I never told her in the 3 months it took me to save, I had an envelope in my panty drawer and I wrote Isagenix on it. And instead of going to get Starbucks, or I would pick up extra clients because I wanted it, so I saved for it. I came down the stairs one day and I said, I saved for it. I've already called Trace. I've already placed my order. I wanted to honor you right where we are, but I worked really hard to save for it, babe. And he's like, well, I'm going to split it with you. And I looked at him and I said, then you should probably save in your panty drawer for the value pack. So I was so funny. We had a really good time with that. I shared for 15 months with my sister. She thought I was crazy, even though she was a part of another network marketing company. And so I took her a gift on Christmas. It had a gift card to her favorite restaurant. That is totally her love language. And I told her, she was so mad. She opened up the gift and she's like, freaking Isagenix, are you kidding me? And I said, I love you. I'll never give up on you. There's a card to your favorite restaurant in there. When you're busy one day, pop a shake-in and try it out. And she'll tell you to this day that if I would have shown her the compensation plan, she would have been all in. And the truth is, she was going to only be all in when the season in her life was right. And so today I'm really excited to talk to you about seasons. I feel like God has really modeled that well for us. We have seasons, not as many seasons here in Arizona, I'll be really honest with you, because there's fall, we just barely get a fall, winter, we get a lot of summer, and spring. And so if you're in a season right now that maybe is not the same season of the person that you're talking to, and you sound like you're maybe speaking a foreign language, it's okay, because your season won't always align with the people around you. And it's so important to continue to be following up and consistent and congruent on your social media and in person. So I want to encourage you guys with that tonight. I never took no for an answer, and you never come off my list. And so there have even been friends that have gotten started. They maybe didn't get started with a value pack. They did not have the support. They have come full circle and looped back around and are having a great experience, not only with the products, but also with the earning opportunities. So I want to encourage you guys all with that.
Yeah, that's great. And talking about seasons is something that I kind of have on my heart to talk about too. And I can't believe I had it backwards.
That's all right.
I love the puppy bag story, how you had your Isagenix stuff in those little puppy bag stories. And Trudy was just rolling her eyes telling the story. But now that I know Trudy and all of the people she's brought into Isagenix, if Tanya would have given up on her eye-rolling sister, can you imagine all the lives that would not be where they are today? So how has Isagenix now, I know you're building this beautiful home now, but more than that, how has it changed your life since you've been here?
I would say it has really enriched relationships. I always said I loved my husband. He was everything that I had prayed for. I was in an abusive marriage when I actually met Jeremy. It so happened that we worked at the same company together, and my daughter was, 9 months old. I went on our very first date after being out of that really awful marriage. And just remembering back to thinking, I felt like he rode up on a white horse and rescued me. And I would say my most favorite thing about Isagenix is knowing all that he's done for us. He has definitely been the father to Bailey that there are no words. Bailey is a left-handed softball pitcher, and she played collegiate athlete Division I softball as a pitcher. And Jeremy spent 12 years sitting on a bucket catching her. In the downturn of the economy, I watched my husband completely disconnect. He didn't like people. He was very hard to be around, and he was silently just really struggling. I remember looking at him and just thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to have a heart attack, because he really wore the weight of the world financially. And I would say the best part of Isagenix for me personally, aside, I want you to understand income is great and it really does make a difference. However, what it has done for our marriage and our family, and see the legacy and our kids be able to not wear the burden of, financial duress from college and other things. While we don't save our kids, and we really expect for them to work for everything that they have, because that's something that was very near and dear to my heart. That's why Trudy and I both have the work ethic that we do. To see my husband come full circle and smile in pictures, I always laugh, Cindy, because if you look back at pictures of Jeremy, it's really funny. It's now almost become a running joke, because he looks like the farmer that had the pitchfork, and he was just like, in all of our pictures, like the kids make fun of him. So when we say really Isagenix has changed our lives, we mean definitely first and foremost our family and the foundation that he has worked so hard for. I got to ride up on a white horse and draw my sword and say, get on, baby, I got you. In one of the hardest times, the downturn of the recession. And for those of you who don't know, Jeremy was in equipment finance for construction equipment. So when all of these beautiful retail spaces were closing when we started, that affected us deeply. His income was cut down to earning a third of what he had been earning. And so that, and then I would say the ripple effect, not only my beautiful sister and brother-in-law, but also our children, Bailey and Ashley, are both building in Isagenix, which has been really cool. Our friends and family that have suffered greatly over the last 5 years, and if it hadn't been for Isagenix products and the constant stream of, helping people get started even amidst really hard times, being consistent at that, I've seen it bridge the gap for so many people. And I can't imagine going through hard times and calling into work and saying, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it today, working in the pockets that they would still have a job. So the opportunity, I think, oftentimes after being apart for a while, we have the opportunity to either choose to get complacent, complaining, or really look at this and reignite ourselves every morning to get out of bed. And it's those continual messages of life change, both physically and financially, that move us forward. So it's all encompassing, but more than anything, I will tell you, it was really cool to be able to ride up on that white horse and tell my husband, get on, baby, I got you.
I love that. That gave me goosebumps. I absolutely love it. And we've gotten close with her husband too, you guys. My husband looks to him as a mentor, and it's just been so cool to watch. And he really does want to give back and pour into other men too. So it's really neat. So follow him. All right. So one of the questions I had written up before you spoke was, how do you handle the seasons in your business that aren't too awesome? And I know your team is definitely a team of explosive growth, but I'm assuming somewhere over the time that you've been here, you've had some moments of maybe feeling stagnant, or maybe even feeling like you're dipping a little bit, or cycles are down and low. So tell us a little bit about how that's gone for you, and how are you able to always pick yourself back up and get back into growth and momentum?
I love that question. I actually talked a lot about it this week. One of the things that Jeremy and I had to figure out, what's your gift, what's mine? And then we had to be willing to cross grow, if that makes sense. And so I really loved people. And when we started, Jeremy will be really honest. He's like, I didn't love people so much. Looking at, this is a cyclical business. And when I was sharing even this last week, even this morning with Mastermind Monday with leaders in our home, when you own a business and you're a CEO of the business, or you're the owner, or you're the president, you have to account for the fact that there's going to be life happening with your employees. Not that our team has an employee mindset, but I'm going to just kind of align it to what's happening right now in the regular workforce. You also don't account necessarily in network marketing, but you do in a workforce for loss. So we're of the age that our parents are getting a little bit older. My dad passed away 3 months before starting Isagenix. My mom has gone through a divorce. Trudy and I were able to, because of our hard work, because of our work ethic, our consistency in our businesses, and continually helping people open Freedom Wholesale accounts with Isagenix, to help my mom purchase a house. And both my sister and I split the house payment for my mom's house. And so realizing that it's not just, our team members that you could potentially have lost, but it's their loved ones, and trying to plate spin and multitask. And then the other aspect of this is a cyclical business. And so not everybody is going to always understand. You will have some social sharers that are along for the process, and something will take place, their husband will have to move, and you have to plan accordingly for your business. And so I want to encourage you guys, if you find that right now, specifically, we're coming out of the summer months, and people have been away on vacation. We've had some shake drops, and so that kind of skews some numbers in there as well. It's great on the week that it happens, but also people end up having lots of shakes. And so taking all of this into consideration, what I do every day, Cindy, is I get up every morning and I ask myself, how can I bless someone today? How many times can I share our story? How many times can I share the story of Isagenix? How many times can I share other leaders' stories? Not everybody is going to have rocket ship growth, and there will be seasons to this business, like what we talked about. And it's so funny that you and I are so on the same page, because I've been talking about the same on the tour with our kids, and also our marriage to our business. There are seasons. And one of the things that Eric Worre talked about at the leadership conference last year that made an epic impact, I know specifically in Lindsay Wynea and her business, as well as Jeremy and I, because we were talking about this, an airplane cannot take off on the runway unless it gets up enough speed that it runs down the runway for liftoff. And the same is true in our business. And a lot of times meaning we all, myself included, can really stop us dead in our tracks, or create a season that maybe didn't need to be a season because of self-talk. So we'll say things like, yeah, my cycles are down, or it's the season, this was really slow because it was the summer. And what you don't understand is you're setting the tone for your unconscious mind. You're listening to it. You can either be your biggest cheerleader, or you can be your biggest self, unmotivator. So I want to encourage you guys to be mindful of your words. My kids will often be talking to me, and I'll give them a look, and they're like, let me reframe it. Let me say it differently, because it's important that you set that in track for you. Yes, you want to be honest about the opportunity. Yes, you want to know what your numbers are. Jeremy thinks it's also really important. We were asked when we came into corporate to really identify our numbers. And this was about probably 2.5 years when we came in, and they said, are you talking about the business? Are you talking about the products? And I looked at them kind of perplexed, and I'm like, people really bring people in and they don't talk about the products. And they were like, yeah, there are some people who only talk about the business, and then there are other people who will only talk about the products. For us, this is how we teach it. They are this amazing gift that comes together and serves up to you an incredible opportunity physically and financially. So are you really talking about that? And do you talk more about your blessings than your hardships? Because the reality of it is, going back out and getting really to work and, enrolling and going on like an enrolling just sponsor. Jeremy and I right now are laughing hysterically because we are both in competition of our Instagram. Now, if I would have talked about Instagram a year ago, he would have been like, nah. And now, between all of our kids and the fact that that is really where a lot of exciting things are happening, you're able to meet people around the globe. Now he is like upped his Instagram game, and we're like in competition about it. It's really funny. So finding new ways to find new people is pretty exciting. I love belly to belly. I also love to be able to talk to people and say, it's okay being in a season. Don't stay there long. So call it what it is and then move forward. Get out of that cyclical spot of maybe thinking, and you'll hear other leaders too say, I'm feeling stuck. Okay, awesome. I'm sorry that you're feeling stuck. How can you become unstuck? I talked to a gal this last week, and she said, I really want people, she teaches engineers, and you have to think about how an engineer's mind works. She said, people aren't naturally they don't have the knowledge of being solution driven. And so really helping to unpack what that looks like and to have a team. We always talk about you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. But what we don't truly understand is not all 5 of those people have all the same gifts. And I wish I would have had a notebook. I'm actually going to have her do some team training, because she said when you focus on your gifts, your ability to grow increases over a 12-month span by like 75%. When you focus on all the things that you're not good at, you will only get better in those areas truly when you spend all of your time focusing on not the places that you're gifted at, by like 3% over 12 months. And my mouth dropped open, because I hear all the time people talk about the hard stuff instead about what is going so well. This last week for going to Texas was challenging. I'm not going to lie. It was really challenging. We did 3 events in a day. I have a brand new respect for our Cal and Martha and our managers that are out in the field, helping the field. They run like no one's business. And it was a difficult schedule. And I could have lived in the difficult, or we could have had some fun with it, which we did. And in the meantime, I was able to connect and really be poured into by so many different leaders in Isogenics. Some of them, brand new, they're managers, and they're vivacious, and their energy was contagious. And I came back and I told Jeremy, man, I wish I could bottle that up and show people, this is the energy that people come to when they very first get started. True marketers understand that they have to tap into that even when it's not necessarily right in front of them in a season that maybe they are a little bit of a conflict or they're struggling. And really, how do you push past that? We're getting ready to go to Brendan Bouchard. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Jeremy and I are both going. A lot of the team is going. He's going to be talking about conflict resolution. What makes people successful? How do you get up, Cindy, on a day that you're like, man, my cycles aren't necessarily where I want them to be, but how do I really become that leader to attract that next level of leadership? Because it's a mirror. If things aren't where you want them, it's your job to really go out and create what it is that you're looking for. And the key to that, and Kathy will talk to you guys about it every time, is enrolling 80% of the time. The rest of it, 15% is teaching, training. 5% is really working on things that maybe are not necessarily your skill set, but you don't live there. You are living and continually saying, who can I bless? Whose life can I make an impact in? I will tell you, Bailey she's 23, Ashley's 19, and millennials, over the next 2 years, there'll be 50 million millennials that are looking for what we have to offer. They are not wired the same way that we are. They are looking for being able to live life on their own terms with freedom and really being able to work hard. And they can plate spin like no one's business. I'm watching our daughters do it firsthand. And so how we're built, so let me give you guys a snapshot. Our first center has my daughter in the left leg. My husband is in the right leg. When Trudy came on, I told her, I will put you in the top of the next center. And just so happened, we had just opened Jeremy's center. So she is down Jeremy's inside leg. And then my daughter, Ashley, is in the top of our third center. So none of our family members are together. And it was by God's design that it happened that way, because I just didn't know what I was doing. It's really awesome to see his fingerprints in our business and know that do we always see the bigger picture? No. But I have to have faith and trust that we are here and in this place to be able to help other people break free, break their husbands free physically, break them free financially, and then turn around and pay that forward. When you get into the me mindset, that season can be a lot longer than getting into the we, and then how can I serve people and how can I really be of service to people?
Yeah, I feel like so often if we're feeling stuck in any area of our life, not even just Isogenics, when you really switch the light bulb and you go into acts of service for other people, that can change everything. And someone once said in my last company, there is nothing that bringing on a new excited person can't fix in your business. So if something feels broken, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling complacent, and you are around someone new, like you just said in these meetings in Dallas, it can just get that energy going back again for you. And sometimes we need that. We need that recharge button as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about events. I always have leaders talk about this. My team probably gets tired about me bringing it up all the time, but I'm definitely someone, I've watched it. My 23-year-old watched me succeed in businesses before. This is 26 years now in the industry. In my last business, I had gotten to the top level there, and he truly never saw himself ever in what I did. He was proud of me when I got to Isagenix and I really got successful here. He was proud of me, but it wasn't until I brought him to his first New Year's kickoff in San Antonio and he saw it for himself that the light bulb changed. And now he's going to be sharing his testimony at ICU in Chicago this weekend. So it's like,
that's so exciting.
It is, and he's attracting so many great people, and a bulk of the people on my team that are going to ICU are on his team. So share with us like your feeling on events and getting people there.
It's funny that we're talking about this again, and yet it isn't, because we trained on it this morning at our Mastermind Monday. And, it takes a lot of energy for one person to really show all that we offer here at Isagenix. And that one person, your story, even though you helped them open a Freedom Wholesale account with Isagenix, your story may not completely resonate with you. They came to you because they knew, love, and trusted you. They saw you be consistent. They really work alongside of you. But there's something missing that you can't fill. And one of my favorite quotes by Helen Keller is, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And I've seen it play out even outside of this opportunity. My daughter's pitcher had soft tissue and bone cancer. And what we were able to do in a softball community, and I did the PR for this family, we helped get them into a house. We helped them get a washer and dryer. We helped them buy a car. And due to the opportunity of everybody going in and getting in the boat and rowing in the same direction, it takes a business from here to like skyrocketing. The number one most critical gift that you can share, the number one skill in network marketing is getting people to events. It makes all the difference in the world. So if you do not have your NYKO ticket right now, what are you saying to the rest of the people you have invited along for this journey? Are you a hobbyist in Isagenix? Are you part-time? Are you full-time? Are you serious? Because people will follow people who know where they're going. And we talked about today just some different fun ideas. We were talking about doing a running thread in the business page, and not everybody is going to be able to do this. So I want you guys to meet it right where you are financially. But like Cindy, my very first event, I was a little prideful. It took me until almost a year after we started Isagenix, because I had done the rah stuff before, and I was like, ugh. I'd never been to an Isagenix event. I was really in front of myself with pride. Went into an event and had the most epic time. I called ahead of time and got a rollaway bed from the hotel. I helped 2 team members get there. And I want you guys to understand, I was earning just under a 3-star income. My title was 3-star, and I was earning just shy of that. And I also helped make sure that they were taken care of. I brought goodie bags for them. I loved on them. I cast a vision for them. And it was my very first event alongside of them. And I'll never forget, it didn't, I thought I was going to be sitting next to a whole bunch of strangers. I sat next to amazing, incredible people who poured into me. One of them is Warren Lance. I remember being like, who is this guy in this crazy looking shirt? And he came over, hugged me, and I'm like, this is so weird. He's hugging me. And next thing I know, he's on the stage, and he is totally casting this massive vision because he's an Isagenix millionaire. I saw Sean and Carrie Lynn speak for the first time, and they literally were dressed in white, and they looked like angels from the stage. I also heard Zach Slobin for the very first time speak from stage at that event. And every single one of these amazing leaders really cast a vision for what was possible for us. And so I don't want you to ever think that saying and having excuses of, well, they don't know, or I've got this going on. Cindy, if I unpack the last 5 years of our life, it is some of the hardest 5 years ever. And when we received those awards at Celebration, and I had the ugly cry going on because we were totally shocked. And I want people to know that success doesn't come without a cost. There are times I'm going to miss things with my kids. There are seasons that, you know, have been really hard, but we had to make a decision, just like in owning your own company. We have really good friends of ours that own a massive company. It's a PR company here in Tempe, and I've watched them sacrifice. I was a part of their sacrifice in helping their boys when they were traveling and doing some other things. We kept their kids for them. And so I want you to think about, if you had to sacrifice today to break not only your family free, but have a legacy that would live on for years and years, what would that look like? And then when you are inviting people to come, maybe you're not at the income level where you can have a team dinner yet, but I bet you could plan something, and the art of planning, taking ownership of that and saying, hey, you guys, I've made a reservation at this restaurant. I'm going to be collecting, $25 a person. Let's get up together, and I have some really fun special things for you. At some of the first events, we didn't have a lot, to do a lot with. So I made little cleanse day bags, and I would put organic hand sanitizer and tissue, because always for Make-A-Wish, you're going to cry. And put some really fun things in there to gift to our team members when they would come. And always they would feel so super special. We also always bought extra tickets. And you guys, we fought over it the first time. I really felt God saying, you know what? You build it and they'll come. And so we bought an additional 10 tickets. And Jeremy just really was not happy with me. And I said, honey, I just want you to know that I believe in the people that are coming. And I want them to know that we're serious about this. And the people, I actually had a leader stand up today, Nicole Hammondtree, and get really teary-eyed. She goes, Tanya gave me a ticket. She helped me find roommates and helped get, pay for that. And she said, you're coming. And I really couldn't argue with that. She's one of our top leaders on our team. So who are you pouring belief into? Because when you stop worrying all about your stuff, and you start really thinking about how can I serve other people, it goes back to that service and being in a community, because everybody wants to know that they matter and that they belong. And part of being a leader is really having that as an opportunity. And then you're going to have leaders that rise up and they spread their wings and they're like, no, I got it. And you got to know enough to love enough to say, I'm going to be here flapping wind underneath your wings, because they are self-starters, they are self-motivators, and you love them right on through the process. And really model that for your team, and stay away from the negativity. Really talk about positive things and be solution driven. Ask people, what could get you there? Is it a plane ticket? Is it this? And then here's the other part. We were listening to The Most Powerful Woman in Network Marketing. I was honored to speak at with Marina Worry this last year. And the gal shared, are you being mindful that Celebration is going to come again next year, and we're going to be in Nashville? Are you putting away some of your cycles? Are you taking a PIB and tucking away in your panty drawer in an envelope that says Celebration, because you are modeling what's possible for your team? And then maybe set aside a second envelope and say, I'm going to have $200 to gift to someone to help get them in the seat as well. Because we know, based on numbers, for every tush you get in the chair, it is anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 that will flow through your organization in direct income. And that is a really big deal. If you teach anything, teach people how to get people to events, because it lightens the load and we all share our stories, and it becomes this bigger, bolder, brighter movement than you could have ever dreamed possible.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, a specific question that came in, I have a couple. The first one is, and I've heard you talk about when you go out and about prospecting, how you've given bars and you've thanked people for their service. So what are a couple things you do? The specific question was, have you ever canvassed a neighborhood and done something like that? So if you wouldn't mind sharing, have you ever done that, and share with everyone that might not have heard your story about giving out your bars and the lunch on me. Share that story.
Absolutely. So yes, I've gone door to door. Yes, I've had someone die laughing because they're like, I know who you are and I cannot believe you're going door to door. Because Isogenics, if you drive out of my neighborhood, you dead end Isogenics. And that wasn't always the case. It used to be about 7 miles away. But yes, I have, because one of my best girlfriends is a part of our team and she was in a slump. And I was just not willing to take that. She was in a slump and I said, there are 1,000,001 people out there and they have no idea what Isogenics is. And she's like, I just find that really hard to believe. I'm like, all right, get your shoes on. We're going to go in workout clothes. Make sure you look, good, presentable in workout clothes, and let's go. And I was thinking one night when I was laying in bed, you know what, Cindy, every house has an electric plug-in in the front. So realistically, if you got real serious about this, you could like get one of those coolers that you could push, has ice in it. And you could be like, would you like chocolate, vanilla, like strawberry? How can I bless you today? And make up a shake at their front door. They can fill it with ice. They can fill it with water. And when I tell people, like, for the love, how bad do you want it? I don't want you to be, incongruent to who you are. I feel like you can do this with total integrity. So we went to the first door and I was sweating so bad and I was so nervous. I was pitting out because I had no idea what I was going to say to the person when they opened the door. And I was like, hi, my name is Tanya. Have you, and I stuttered over it and I stuttered for the first 6 houses. It was disastrous and it was almost comical. Like we should have had a camera, like candid camera following us. By the time I got to the 7th house, I was like, hey, so thanks so much for answering your door. I just want to take a few minutes. We are out with, spreading brand awareness today. Have you heard about Isogenics? And they were like, isn't that a tech company? And I'd look over at my girlfriend. I'm like, no, it's not a tech company. I said, we are a global wellness company where we were well ahead of the curve and we deliver wellness directly to your door. Would you be open today? I have got a gift for you, and this is one of the cards. And I want you guys to know, as I'm learning marketing, this is my disastrous first one. And it says, contact me today for your first gift over here. This is typically where I would give like a shaker cup with a shake in it. And then on the back of this, it has my picture, it had all of our different solutions that we offer, and then some scanner codes so that they can make sure they could find me and connect on social media. So I would hand this to them, and we also gave out orange amped hydrate when we went door to door. I actually met a couple team members that I didn't know were on our team when we went door to door, so that was super fun. When I am out and about, here's what I do. If I'm going to a makeup counter and they're giving me incredible service, before we went to, I think Top Achievers, I was at a makeup counter and she said, what do you do? Why are you going to Maui? And I said, oh my gosh, we are partnered with a global health and wellness company and we're so excited. We're actually taking our kids. I don't know what other company would be like, yeah, bring your kids. And she said, I'm really curious. She goes, oh my gosh, that's so funny, Tanya. I interviewed at Isogenics. And I said, did you ever taste any of our amazing nutrition products? And she said, I didn't. I said, well, I have a gift for you today. Lunch is on me. And I handed her this card with a bar. And I said, are you on Facebook or social media? And she said, actually, I am. I said, let's connect. Found her on social media, added her to our private page and said, I'm going to add you to our private coaching page. It is called Free to Be Lifestyle and would love to have you just sit and be a fly on the wall. I'll connect with you in a couple of weeks and we'll help get you started. Now, I want you to understand, I didn't say if you're ready. I didn't say, can I call you in a couple of weeks? I told her I was going to, and then I forward spoke I'd help her open an account. I'm continually following up with her. She has yet to open an account so far. And here's what I found. A lot of times it takes a good 10 to 15 times following up with people because, again, my fall might be her spring. Her summer, that she's like in the scorching hot summer, might be my winter. And so until you are like within the same season and you're the person that they think of, then they're going to be the one to reach out to you. So connecting can look totally different. We were at another I was buying shoes. My girlfriend turned 50, so we were in Michael Kors. It's not a store I've ever shopped at, I would love to tell you. I saw it. I thought, you know what, this would be a great treat for my girlfriend, Kelly. Walked in, found some really cute shoes, and connected with the gal. She's like, what are you guys shopping for today? I'm like, actually, I'm going to be speaking, and it's my beautiful girlfriend. She just celebrated her 50th birthday. She gave us such great service. I said, I want you to understand something. You have a rare gift of customer service. you should do what I do, because people like you have great opportunity in front of them, because customer service is a lost art. She has now come to 4 events. She's pregnant and she's really excited about saying yes. And I gave that lead to my girlfriend who was with us, because I want people to understand that it is not just about getting people. It's about walking alongside with them. It's about having an abundant mindset. It is about serving people and showing them what is possible. And my girlfriend who was with me happened to see a video I did on social media. She said, Tanya, you had good hair. I started laughing. I thought that's always a bonus. She said, you look trustworthy, and you were talking about something that I desperately was looking for. I talked about digestive issues that Jeremy had because he does not have a gallbladder. I met her at a Starbucks. I sat with her for 2.5 hours. I cried with her. We laughed. She's one of my closest friends today. She never went back to occupational therapy because she hit the floor running and borrowed my belief. And so a lot of times I'll get someone started and say, I understand that this is something completely out of your comfort zone. I know that you said you're not interested in sharing. However, I would love to talk to you about when you are a walking billboard, and you will be, because these products are that epic. I want you to think about, will you refer them back to Jeremy and I, because we would love to help your friends and family get started. Or simply, I can come right alongside of you and support you in helping your friends and family open their own Freedom Wholesale account with Isagenix. And you can receive the text like I do, like you will be sending to me, thank you, God, this has changed my life. It is your posture, and it is about forward speaking. It's not if you have results, it's when. And you need to set the tone for the people. And if you're not even setting the tone for yourself, I just want to encourage you guys, take a look in the mirror, because you are the leader you want to attract. Recently, my daughter was dating a young guy, my 19-year-old, and there were some things that were not necessarily totally congruent. And I said, honey, you need to get out your top 10 list. I have my girls, and I will have my son do the same, of what is their top 10 list, God being their number one, and integrity, trustworthy. And it's funny because in our business, I have our leaders say, I ask them, you need to make a top 10 list. Who would you like to attract into your business? So they're writing down and they're making all these lists and everything. And then I said, now you be that leader. You put it up on your mirror. You put it in your bathroom. You put it on your screensaver. You put it everywhere you see it. Now be the leader. Because I will tell you right now, when you become that, you will attract it, and it changes everything. As we have grown in Isagenix, grown in conflict resolution, grown in growing leaders, growing the team, growing in cycles, growing through what we're going through, we have started to attract some really outstanding individuals. And I want you guys to know it is possible. We did not land here, and there is no matter where you are at, if you're esteeming your next rank advancement is 2-star, and you're like, once I get there. I want you to enjoy the journey along the way, because there are so many times I wish I could have pressed pause and said, man, I wish I could have just enjoyed that or celebrated that. If your next one is 4-star or 5-star, get there, take some time to celebrate it, but don't forget the fundamentals of your business. You always have to have your open sign on in your business. You have to have the lights on, the curtains drawn, and no matter who is in your life, you need to be able to say, you know what? I'm your person. You want to get healthy? I'm your person. You want to get healthy financially? I'm your person, and I will walk alongside of you. Also, setting up expectations, and I tell people, I cannot want more for you physically than you want for yourself. I cannot want more financial freedom than you're willing to work for, but I will always pace partner right alongside of you and manage people's expectations, so they're not looking at you like, well, you said you would, you'd help me, and they took it as you'd build their business, because we are all blessed with 2 sexy legs, a left and a right. And I never want, I was talking to a leader while we were on the tour this week, and I always checked in with all the hostesses. I wanted to give them my all. I wanted to serve them well. And I said, tell me how you're doing, what's going well, what's not maybe going like the way that you'd want it to. And one leader just totally poured her heart out. And she's like, I'm on an inside of an inside of an inside of an inside leg, and I'm building like this because no one told me to build like that. And I was quiet, and I was patient, and I listened to her, and I said, let that be the last time you tell that story. And I asked her before I shared that, I said, are you open? She said, I'm open. And I said, let that be the last time you tell the story. She's like, I don't tell it often. And I said, one time is one too many, because you're listening, and now that has become something that is a roadblock for you going to that next level. So I want you to know that whether top leaders talk about it or not, most of us did not have help in building. And so I just need you guys to hear me say, I am grateful for that. And it makes you even more thankful for the people that you link arms with, that you can partner with in this opportunity, because they're who build the business. I didn't build our business. There's not one single leader that has built our business. It has been an entire group effort, and you get to decide how that's going to play out, how you're going to help serve, and how you're going to recognize. Recognition is so important in this business. So how are you recognizing leaders as they're rank advancing? I hope that was a long-winded kind of covering of connecting and growing.
Awesome, awesome. And I have 2 more questions, and the next one's a little more advanced, but I think it will really help people. So you were sharing earlier that, you know, your family is not financially linked. The way that it all fell out, that none of them are financially linked. So what lessons did you learn through that process that maybe you were able to then help when Trudy came along, when Lindsay came along, and all your other leaders? What lessons did you learn, and how were you able to better help them?
I happened to put Jeremy in the top of our team leg, or the top of the leg that I didn't share with my enrolling sponsor. So I put him on what would be considered my inside leg. As we were growing, I was like, oh man, I should probably put Bailey in the tree. And I put her over to the left. And I'll be honest with you, when I'm coaching people, I always tell them to put their spouse opposite the team leg, because I truly believe if you are growing a business, we teach to grow even. So left, right, left, right, left, right. Get to executive, do it again. If you happen to have someone who takes off, I will help you start to navigate placement of that. But I always coach to put your spouse on the inside leg, because I think that you get to be the person to help build that. Even if I would have been coached, I am so grateful to God that everybody is where they're at, because all of them have amazing opportunity. They all have amazing legs, and I don't have to worry about one being in a different position, meaning I don't have to worry about one daughter being on top of another daughter. And is that a bad thing? No, but in ours, it just worked out the best way. So how I coach, and how I coached my sister, how I coached Lindsay, we had someone who said, hey, when you are cycling 100 plus times, let's just look at this. We were cycling 120, and she came in and said, hey, I really would love for you to open up your husband's center. And I still had no idea that you could enroll people wherever you wanted. I was just doing exactly what I was told, which was left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And Jeremy happened to be at the top, at the far top right. And so I had Jeremy start enrolling people. So he did, and he enrolled quite a few, and she called back and said, no, you be the enrolling sponsor down his inside leg. And at that time, it was like 2 weeks before my sister said yes. And so would I have changed any of that? No, I'm so an open book. This business is not hard. It is something that you constantly have to rub shoulders with other people to say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? When that center blew out, meaning Jeremy's center several times, and my center had blown out for like 6 months straight, that's when we went ahead and opened the reentry. And at that time, Ashley was old enough, I could put her at the top of the reentry, and God has continued to bring leaders in there to grow and go forth. So I would say put your spouse opposite the team leg. Everyone I've coached that way has had great success with it. My sister, Lindsay, and it's funny because a lot of leaders won't be coachable, meaning they'll load the inside leg if they have one, and they'll do it to cycle, when the reality of it is it's a cyclical business and it will catch up. And I can say that 5 years in. So I coach continually. Please, please, please enroll evenly, get to executive, do it again, and then do it again. And I'll have leaders, my sister was like, gosh, because I was like, yay, that's awesome. Now do it again. And what she didn't realize at the time that she does now, and she jokes about it, was I wanted her to have this solid foundation base so that she could have a solid center of solid leaders, and then they could bring in that next generation of leaders, and she would have this amazing solid business, in which she does. And she's been a great advocate about paying that information forward. So the other part, you want to get to executive and stay paid as, and treat this like the opportunity that it is that 10% executive match. My sister blowing out, 10% executive match, Jeremy blowing out. Just between these two leaders, we earn an incredible amount of income. So $5,000 each center, that's a total of $10,000 a month. I want you guys to think about this too. That's not on, maybe someone who we've enrolled that's cycling 20 times, we earn 2 cycles. Someone else we enrolled that's cycling 40 times, we earn 4 cycles. And not everybody sticks, and that's okay, because there are statistics in every business. You need to know your numbers. It is basically 2 out of every 10 will actually share in this opportunity, is what we found, unless you're really good at partnering the physical and the financial, and knowing that $250 would have made an epic impact in mine and Jeremy's financial blueprint when we first got started. And I'll tell you, for most people, it is right between that $250 to $500 range. Talk about that money. They're not going to understand necessarily this big money, because I'll have leaders that are like, this is Tanya and Jeremy, they're an Isogenics millionaire. And I tell the story about having holy underwear and saving in my panty drawer to this day, because that's something that people can resonate with. Those are real stories, and you need to keep in mind that this is a real opportunity, a real business with real people. Does this make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And my very last question to honor your time is, what are you most excited about? You've been part of the field advisory board. You are very well connected with corporate and all the goings on there. What are you most excited about that will fire up this team?
I am most excited about the ability to have, don't miss the call tomorrow with Jim and Kathy and Eric. Don't miss it. Do whatever you have to do to get your earbuds in and be on it. I'm most excited about innovation. I'm most excited to know what's coming in this company. I used to think I don't know anybody that lives across the globe, but I started talking about it and saying, who do you know? And we have some really amazing things taking place. I shared this at the Texas tour. As a 3-star paid executive, you will start to get retail orders and referrals and flowing up through your business center. It's something that Isogenics does, and they pepper them through everybody who is a paid 3-star executive and higher. And what I want you guys to know is that when we were sitting at the Influencer Summit last year, I had a gentleman reach out, because as soon as I got that referral, we send out an email immediately to them. I reverse look up their phone number on Facebook, meaning right in the search bar, I put in their phone number, and I reverse looked up their email and made a connection right away to see if I couldn't get them on the phone. I had no idea they would, enroll like a week and a half later. I was in Sedona. I had to make Jeremy drive back to the city so that I could actually hear on the phone. His wife, I disconnected from 3 times, and she had the most amazing accent. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think she's from like the UK. So we go back into the city. She was born in London, did some time, grew up in Australia, and now her and her husband live in San Antonio, which we had the blessing to spend some time with them right at the very end of the tour. What you talk about, what you think about, you bring about. Knowing that, and being a part of the Fab for a time, knowing that our global market is such a great opportunity, but so is our market in our own backyard. Being so grateful and mindful of what we have right now in Isogenics, and having that dairy-free line expanding. You can expect that in the next year. Eric has been very open about that on social media. Also, our system, which means the ability that we have to enroll someone in 45 seconds, was epic. If you have not gone in your back office and made your cart, I want you to highly recommend doing that, because you are missing out on duplicity, meaning how you get someone started, they'll turn around and go, oh man, I could do this. Are you kidding? I can enroll someone in 45 seconds. That's easy. And you're looking for the easy. So serving people well. And Cindy, the other thing, that we are part of something that everybody needs. It's not a one product wonder. We have expanded our line. We're going to continue to expand it. I love that we brought on the essential oils. I feel like that's been so key in really helping people feel confident and comfortable. When we started out these Essence tours, I had them put a drop or 2 of peppermint and rub their hands together, and we waited for everybody to have it done. I said, let's do a breathing exercise. I had them take in half a breath, hold it, another half a breath, hold it, blow it out really fast, and bring it all the way back in and hold it, and then release it. And we did that at the very beginning, and that just elevated the room. People brought their energy, and I said, give me some shout outs of how you're feeling right now. They're like, energetic, clear. And I was like, do you think this would help with different facets? So You do not have to be an oil guru, but you do need to be showing and sampling and living your life out loud. Take your shakes. When I go to the gym, I not only take my shake, but I take a shaker cup that has ice and water, and I'm making a shake for someone before I leave. I have found chocolate isopro tastes amazing. It's like chocolate milk. So live your life out loud. Utilize the oils. Share what we have to offer. If you've stopped utilizing Facebook Lives, if you're not really taking hold of what Instagram has to offer, Isagenix is modeling this for us. And this next level, I really feel, and I shared this at Top Achievers, there is a tsunami of growth coming. And you can lay down and let it wash over you, or you can stand up and enjoy the ride, because what we have and what we have to offer here is a gift. Don't ever take it for granted. And, I always think about those people who've been a part of companies for 20 plus years. And I'm like, what kept them excited? And they simply said, we were excited because we had an opportunity that was fully faceted. And at Isagenix, I truly believe that we're just getting started. And I want to be a part of taking this company to a $5 billion plus company, and seeing what really is possible with that. So I can't wait. I wish I could say that I know more, but I really don't. I mean, we were privy to stuff on the Fab last year, and I can tell you what I feel and what's in my heart. And I can say some people thought I was crazy when I started. Some people might think I'm crazy, because I really truly feel in my heart that we have massive growth around the corner. And it's going to be those people who really treat this like the opportunity that it is, that will get to participate in that growth.
Yeah, perfect. Oh gosh, I love you, and I could keep you on for 15 hours. And I'm telling you, I just wish I was in the same state as you, because I would want to be with you 24/7. I just adore you. Thank you so much. We all love you, and I'm going to send you a copy of the recording tomorrow with everyone's comments and feedbacks. Can't thank you enough. You've given so many wonderful nuggets tonight that I'm sure people are going to be so fired up they can't sleep. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you for having us, Cindy. Thank you for giving to Isagenix and for being the leader to follow, being a leader of such integrity. It's been such an absolute, just amazing ride to watch you guys grow, and we're always here. So please reach out anytime.
All right. Thank you. Love you. Thanks.
Love you. I'll see you soon.